Hi everybody, this is Professor Linnea. I wanted to revisit this article by Gudmundsdottir and Hatlevick. We've talked about it before in terms of how they looked at initial teacher education and technology competence in using a structural equation modeling. But I wanted to look today at the discussion section and the recommendations because these can be very helpful for you as you figure out what it is you're doing in your research. So just as a reminder, the ITE or the ICT is Information and Communication Technology, ITE is Initial Teacher Education, and the PDC is Professional Digital Competence as we go through this. So in a discussion section, you should take your findings in a very summary form and compare them to what other authors have discussed in the past. And you can see that they did this. First, our study showed that nearly half of the newly qualified teachers in the study found that the quality of their information and communication technology training was fairly poor, and that initial teacher education had a fairly poor contribution to the development of their professional digital competence, and that was related to RQ1, their research question 1. And so then the rest of this paragraph, if you look at this, you can see how they're comparing that finding to past literature, which was in line with past literature. And that's a really important feature to do to show where your study fits in with what happened before. You can see the second finding, 80% of the teachers had positive beliefs, but nonetheless, approximately half of them had negative beliefs and answered that information and communication technology led to distractions during their teaching practice, which was related to research question 2. And so, again, they are comparing these things to past literature, which is very, very important. I want to go down to the recommendations for future research. This is how you take these findings and what is missing from my study? What's missing from what I found? Well, there's a need for more research on how to prepare student teachers for using information and communication technology in their initial teacher education and their teaching practice. That's very important. It still says we need more research. We need more research to understand how teachers develop their negative experiences. Very important. And then look how they wove a limitation of the study into the recommendation. A clear limitation is they weren't able to include something, and so that still needs to be studied. Very, very important. And of course, recommendations for the field. So I hope this is helpful and a good introduction to looking at a whole article.